body. Basically, psychic pain, emotional pain, whatever, accumulated in us, in every being. And it can be also racial or whatever. So it's just this accumulation of pain in this collective racial, national body, ethnic body, group, whatever. So women have had a lot of pain as a gender through being discriminated, whatever. So basically they feel that when they, especially a lot when they have their period.
That's exactly it. Thanks. Yeah. That's good stuff. Any other questions?
I have a question. Do you know if he has been in contact with Buddhist literature? Or
Yes, of course, yes. He's read tons of books.
Okay, so because this sounds very Buddhist, and the terminology is Buddhist, enlightenment, egoic mind, emotions. Okay, so the things he says here are actually very similar to the Buddhist enlightenment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is new actually? What is different from Buddhism? I mean, I don't know how much everyone knows here Buddhism, but they also talk about enlightenment and there are different sects, of course. Let's take, for example, the Zen sect.
Yes.
They say like everyone can have an enlightenment, even the ordinary people who are going to work from 9 to 5, right? You don't have to renounce of your daily activities and go to monastery. So does this work for Eckhart Tolle too?
Which one? The last one? Go to a monastery?
No, the first one. That everyone can have an enlightenment. Like
everyone,
even people who are doing daily things.
Each person, according to Eckhart Tolle, everyone in this room right now could become enlightened right now. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to be part of any group or any sect. You just have to go into the now right this instant. You don't have to take any teachings. You don't have to do anything. You're there already. You just have to remember to go into the now, and then it's done. You don't have to go to a church, join an organization, or learn any philosophy other than stay present. It is similar. He does talk about, he mentions several religions. He mentions Eastern philosophy a lot during his talk, and he mentions Christianity and what the Bible really means during his talk a lot. I think he studied religion in university before he became a great speaker.
So it's obvious where this comes from.
Yeah. I haven't read, I don't know much about Buddhism.
Okay,
So
another one, small question. There are two types of enlightenment in the history of Buddhist thought.
Okay.
Gradual and sudden enlightenment. They were fighting about it. Gradual, sudden enlightenment is like when something happens like this, and then you're enlightened. You're a totally different person. And gradual is like you work, you study, you do whatever you have to do, and like slowly you're getting to the enlightenment. Like maybe similar like Christianity, like you're worshiping God and you're slowly getting closer to God. So okay, doesn't matter Buddhism how is there, but how about him?
He says that he had a sudden awakening, and for some people they do get to have a sudden awakening, but most of us have to work at it.
So it has to be sudden, according to him, not gradual.
No, very few get to have sudden awakenings. Most people have to work at it. Most people are gradual. But a few lucky people get to have it suddenly. Well, I don't know about lucky, because they usually go through some tragic incident before they suddenly gain enlightenment. Yeah, both are okay. Anybody else?
Okay, well, we got lots of time, I think. You mentioned something about being asleep. I wanted to ask a question that includes about dreaming. From what I've been studying, I mean, okay, an out-of-body experience, you would say, is generally something that happens. You're awake, maybe, and conscious that you're in this body, and then you have an out-of-body experience. But I want to group it together just to make it simple with lucid dreaming, because I feel like it's, you're still in the body, you're in the bed, but you're out of the bed, and then and then you become conscious of that when you're lucid. So it's kind of like an out-of-body experience as well. So out-of-body experiences and lucid dreaming would seem to represent changes in our reality frame, or changes in our reality frames. According to these writers, could these reality frame changes out-of-body experiences and lucid dreaming be part of the path that one might say leads to enlightenment? I'm asking, are out-of-body experiences and lucid dreaming important in what these writers talk about?
Eckhart Tolle says no. He says that the Buddha studied out-of-body experiences, and he did the out-of-body experiences, but he did not gain enlightenment until long after he had, stopped doing that. It's one of the areas that Eckhart Tolle says, he says that lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences are interesting, but they're not going to bring enlightenment to you. I find them fascinating. I used to study that lucid dreaming when I was in high school extensively. I used to write down my dreams and practice lucid dreaming. I studied out-of-body experiences for a long time under another author. I can't remember his name now. But I read, it's called Journeys Out of the Body.
Monroe.
Monroe, yeah, Robert Monroe. Yeah, and I read all of his work. And again, it wasn't enough, so I started reading, I just continued. And I think that Eckhart Tolle is the first that really changed me the most.
I think that Eckhart Tolle would say that those are experiences, and as such, that what we're striving for in following those or pursuing those kinds of experiences is adding something to our narrative, and that's actually what we're trying to sort of overcome.
Yeah.
We're trying to step out of that narrative.
That's right.
And so they're no importance at all.
That's right. Nothing you did in your past is important.
Right.
Nothing in the future that you... well, you can make plans. He says that you can make plans of the future, but you use your mind as a tool. As long as you're doing something now that's towards your future, and then making a list now, and then just doing step by step. But if you're worried about it, thinking, oh, this in the future, that in the future, or I can't become successful until this or that, then you're dealing with your egoic mind.
Right. Well, that's identifying with an outcome.
Yeah.
I have a question about the gradual and the sudden thing, and back to the pain body. So, most of the time we're trying to avoid being present, and we're sort of embedded in our pain body or emotions. But what happens when we become present? What's that dynamic? When we become present to our pain body or to... So, can you talk about that a little bit?
Apparently, if you bring pain into the light, into the presence, you're no longer in pain. When you are when you're in the present moment, you experience joy, and you experience the connectedness to the rest of the universe.
So where does the developmental or the gradual aspect to that come in?
I guess it's practicing watching your mind. Watching your mind on a daily basis, watching your emotions.
So it's a type of psychotherapy? Is it what is it? You see my question?
It's similar. My mother is a cognitive therapist. She's a psychologist. And I find that I'm a student. I went to university for psychology. And of all the psychoanalytical stuff, it's terrible. That just connects you to your mind even more. But cognitive psychology, I find it works the best. And I find there are some similarities between what Eckhart Tolle teaches and cognitive therapy. So you can use a therapist who knows this stuff. I think would be.
Eckhart Tolle is quite happy to mix the two up.
I guess he could. I guess he would.
Right. Because in Buddhism, that they say that the psychotherapy and the Buddhist practice are interconnected, but they're quite separate. They're two streams, and once you start to mix them up too much, then you're going to retard your progress rather than help it.
I don't think you could retard the progress by mixing those two, because I'm mixing those two as I'm learning, and I think it's actually a good thing. But I know a lot about cognitive therapy, and I can eliminate the stuff in cognitive therapy that I think isn't working.
So you can mix them, but be clear about them. They're two different things.
Yeah, I know what this is and I know what that is, and I can say,
right.
okay, well this works from here, and this is, I can put this in here. And this teaching, hey, I see this teaching in here, and I see this in here. I think you can mix everything that you can find in the world that'll help.
And what does Eckhart Tolle say about that? I know you do.
He says that he does therapy, and he says that some therapists who are extremely present.
He's a therapist, or he undergoes therapy? He
has had people come into his office and say blah 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 blah, and given them therapy, and then he's had a certain